Hey everyone, welcome back to our Python series. In our previous videos, we learned how to create user-defined functions and understood the difference between parameters and arguments. But did you know that in Python, arguments can be passed to a function in different ways? Choosing the correct type of argument makes your functions more flexible, readable, and easier to use. In today's video, we'll learn all types of arguments in Python. Positional arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments, variable length arguments, keyword variable length arguments. We'll also understand the important rules for combining these argument types along with practical examples. So let's get started. An argument is the value that we pass while calling a function. Python provides different ways of passing these values depending on our requirements. Let's begin with the most commonly used type, positional arguments. These are the default type of arguments in Python. Here values are assigned to parameters according to their position. Let's understand positional arguments with the help of one example. Here, name receives the first argument, marks receives the second argument. Python matches them only according to their position. Let's take one more example. The first argument goes to A, the second argument goes to B. What happens if we change the position? Python doesn't understand that 95 represents marks. It simply assigns values according to their position. So positional arguments must always be passed in the correct order. Sometimes we don't want to depend on the order of arguments. Instead, we want to specify exactly which value belongs to which parameter. This is done using keyword arguments. Notice that we changed the order of arguments. Even then the output is correct because we specified the parameter names. Let's move to another example. Again, the order doesn't matter. Python directly matches the values using the parameter names. Why do we use keyword arguments? Because keyword arguments make programs easier to read, easier to understand, and less prone to mistakes when a function has many parameters. Python also allows us to use both positional and keyword arguments in the same function call. Let's understand with the help of one example. The first value is passed positionally. The remaining values are passed using keywords. Whenever we mix positional and keyword arguments, all positional arguments must come before keyword arguments. Otherwise, Python will give a syntax error because a positional argument cannot appear after a keyword argument. Sometimes we want a function to use a default value if the user doesn't provide one. In such cases, we use default arguments. A default argument is a parameter that already has a value assigned to it while defining the function. If no argument is passed for that parameter, Python automatically uses the default value. This is the syntax of the default argument. We give default argument in the function header. Let us understand with the help of one example. Here, name has a default value of guest. Since we didn't pass any argument while calling the function, Python automatically used the default value. Let's pass a value. Now we passed an argument, so Python ignores the default value and uses Rahul instead. Let's move to another example of default argument. In the first call, Python uses the default GST of 10%. In the second call, we override the default value by passing 12. Next is variable length arguments. So far, every function expected a fixed number of arguments. But what if we don't know how many arguments the user will pass? For example, one student enters 2 marks, another enters 5 marks, and another enters 8 marks. Creating separate functions isn't practical. This is where variable length arguments or args become useful. Let us understand with the help of one example. Asterisk values collects all positional arguments into a tuple. No matter how many values we pass, Python stores them together in a tuple. Let's access individual values. Since values is a tuple, we can access its elements using indexing. Also, we can use loop through args. We can also use loops because tuples are iterable. Now, let's look at another special type of argument. Keyword variable length arguments or asterisk kwargs. Suppose we don't know how many keyword arguments the user will pass. Instead of positional values, the user may pass information like name, age, city, marks, and so on. For this, Python provides asterisk kwargs. Let us understand with the help of one example. Kwargs collects all keyword arguments into a dictionary. The parameter names become the dictionary keys and the values become the dictionary values. Let's access the values individually. Now, accessing values using a loop. Items returns both the key and value together, allowing us to print all the data stored in the dictionary. So far, we have learned all 5 types of arguments individually. Now, let's understand the important rules Python follows when we combine them in a function. These rules are useful not only in real world programming but are also commonly asked in interviews and exams. Rule 1: Positional arguments must come before keyword arguments. Here, this gives a syntax error because once you start using keyword arguments in a function call, you cannot place a positional argument after them. Rule 2: Non-default parameters cannot follow default parameters. This gives a syntax error. Python expects all parameters without default values to come first. Rule 3 is args collects extra positional arguments. Here, the first two values are assigned to A and B. All remaining positional arguments are collected into the tuple values. Rule number 4. Kwargs collects extra keyword arguments. The first positional argument is assigned to name. The remaining keyword arguments are stored inside the dictionary info. Rule number 5. Kwargs must always appear at the end of the parameter list because it collects all remaining keyword arguments. So that's all for this video. Today we learned all the different types of arguments in Python: positional, keyword, default, variable length, and keyword variable length. We also understood the important rules for combining them. In the next video, we'll learn about the return statement. You'll understand the difference between print and return, how functions send values back to the caller. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you don't miss the next lesson in this Python series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!